Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about commitment. I'm not talking about marriage. My Linda G. Robert. And today I want to talk about a question for today. Hello. First of all, I'll tell you, sorry, I'm out of town. I decided to draw yesterday. It was a, I guess you could say, although I had been thinking about it for some time, but I decided after I talked to a friend said, yes, you could stay at my place. So thank you, Louise, if you are watching that, she's just in the room next. Louise, I'm out of town and I'll be spending a lot of time visiting with my family. Safe, of course. But I want to talk about commitment. And the reason I wanted to talk, what should I talk about today? And I was telling my friend Louise, oh, usually on Mondays, I do my mindset Mondays, and I'm not really sure I want to do it today. I'm visiting, and it's a different at work, at home. I'm used to following the same routine or fairly fairly close to the same. And I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but I'm continuing. I committed to doing these calls, so I'm here talking about commitment. And I'm wondering, yes, thank you, Chantal. I know. Thanks, Chantal. I know it was frozen. That's part of the challenge when you travel out of town. You don't really know if the Wi-Fi is going to work properly, but it's working, and we got to go with what we have. So, commitment. What are you committed to? What are you committed to? I am committed to a few things, and I'm just giving you these examples to make you think of different things you might be committed to. And while I'm talking, Chantal or whoever else is viewing me, what are you committed to? I'm committed to my mental health, a good, sound mental health. I'm definitely committed to that. Now, I mentioned in another live that I went through a burnout many, many years ago, and I learned a lot along the way. But one of the things that I learned is self care. I'm committed to my self care because when I take care of myself, it takes care of my mind as well. So I'm definitely committed to that. I'm committed to doing these lives. I think that I've been doing them now for a few months, and it's an important thing for me, and I'm hoping that it's also important for you as well. So, what are you committed to? Commitment doesn't mean, like, for example, I could have sent a message saying, sorry guys, I won't be able to do my live today, and I'm sure it would have been okay. But I would have done it the next day, and that's okay too. When you're committed to something, it means that you don't give up. You don't give up. You keep doing what you're doing. I want to be honest with you. With my marriages, I wasn't really committed to my marriages. It just wasn't. Well, first of all, I wasn't the same person that I am today, obviously, but I didn't understand the commitment, the level of commitment that was required at the time, when it comes to marriages. So I know that I wasn't committed to my marriages, unfortunately, because I would still have been married. So now to one guy. not to obviously all of them. What are you committed to? That's the question. And I'm curious, can you please type down in the chat box what you're committed to? What is one of those things that you say, I am definitely committed to this? Now, I know you're watching me on my YouTube channel, which is great. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I know you're also watching me on Facebook in on my business page, so that's great too. Tell me, what are you committed to? What are you committed to? And I'll even dare to say that, sometimes we might have chosen to be committed to something years ago and we had let it go because sometimes life gets in the way. But one of those things that I've noticed with commitment is, or with things that we really want to do, is it always comes back up. It always comes back in my mind. Like years ago, I I was in business for myself, right? I offered coaching. And at that time, for a short moment, I was committed to it. But then I got discouraged and I said, "Oh, this isn't working. I'm not going to do this anymore." And I stopped doing it for years. I really did, for quite a few years. But you know what happened with anything that you really, really, really want to do? It came back up. It was one of those things that's like, okay, let's do this again. And I recommitted to it. I recommitted to it. So, commitment doesn't mean that you will always continue doing what you're doing. You might, for various reasons, take a break and then choose to recommit to it. As far as I'm concerned, it really does depend on how important that commitment is, how important that thing is to you, right? How important is that person to you when it comes to marriage? How important is the well, when it comes to marriage, for example, how important is the that institution to you, right? So, if you've made a decision to commit to something, how important is it? And if it's really important, if it's important, then you will continue committing to it. And I'm going to suggest that sometimes we have to commit to that thing every day, every day. Like to remind ourselves, how important is this thing? And if it's still important today, then I'm going to commit to doing it today, right? So tell me, I know there's somebody now watching on our in our group, Confident, Inspired, and Aspiring Limitless Women, which is awesome. How committed are you, and what are you committed to? Give me a few ideas here of things that you're committed to. I'd love to hear more about that. And I'm just going to let you know too, I'm committed to my challenge. I've spent some time developing this challenge, unmotivated to excited in 5 days. And and this, I'm just saying this because I want you to understand what commitment is. Commitment is without any expectations, okay? When you're committed to something, you're not expecting anything in return. And I'll use my challenge as an example because I've prepared the challenge, and it's starting on Wednesday, by the way, and it's going to be held in the new group that I created for men and women. I added, if you're on the Confident, Inspired, and Aspiring Limitless Women Facebook group, you know that I've added something in there. So that's where it's going to be held. And you know what? That group right now, there's only one person that signed up. Thank you, Anna. Nobody else has yet. But you know what? I'm still committed to it. I'm still committed to it. So, commitment means that you've decided to spend time investing your time, investing yourself in this thing, whatever that thing is, and that you're not going to give up. Now, I think sometimes we have to reevaluate what we committed to. We need to reevaluate it and make a decision, possibly at some point, to either recommit or to say, right now, I can't commit to this. And that's okay too. That's okay. If you can acknowledge that I can't commit to this right now, it doesn't mean that I won't recommit later, right? Because we're talking about commitment, and commitment can go on different levels of commitment. I think big investments like marriages and houses, those are large commitments. But when it comes to an appointment, a scheduled appointment, a scheduled meeting, I might have committed to this meeting, but something happens and I can't commit to that. I can't follow through on that commitment. I will contact the person and let them at day. There you go. It's a connection here. It's a our commitment. We might need to build our confidence again. We might need to look at what is really motivating us. I talked about motivation the other day. Actually, this was on what's today, Sunday. I talked about that on Friday about motivation, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. So, when our motivation changes, it doesn't mean we're not committed to that thing anymore. We might need to revisit why we're committed, what our big whys are. And I know Chantel and I had conversations about the big whys, and not just at the surface of the big why, but keep asking, and why is that important? And why is that important? And why is this important? And why is this important? So I think too, when we're committed to something, it gives us purpose. It gives us purpose, right? So I want you to be thinking about that. What are you committed to? And is this thing that you're committed to giving you a purpose to continue moving forward, right? Especially now with this very difficult time that we're going through, we need to find purpose. We really need to find purpose, or to find a different purpose in some cases. And so when we find something that we can commit to, that also gives us purpose. And maybe it's the other way around. When we have purpose, whatever it is, look at that commitment also as a purpose for you, a higher level purpose. And it's that purpose that will continue driving your behaviors and your actions on a day-to-day basis. So what are you committed to? Why are you committed to this? Why is this so important to you? What is the meaning behind this commitment? And what is the purpose behind this? What is the higher purpose behind that? That is our thought for today, our Mindset Monday for today, is find yourself a purpose and get committed to it. Or the other way around, discover what you're committed to and recommit to that. And then you're going to find your purpose. I don't know which direction is more accurate, but at this point, it doesn't really matter what comes first. Who cares? Commitment and purpose, purpose and commitment. Go for it, right? Go for it. All right. That's all I want to say. If if you are wanting to go from unmotivated to excited, sign up for the challenge. The link is in our Facebook group, Limitless Confident and Aspiring Women. And it is going to be held in the new group that I created. It's for men and women as well. It's going to be a great challenge. It starts on Wednesday, and I'm going to be doing lives every day as well, starting on Wednesday in that new group for this new challenge. All right, everybody. Bye, and thank you for being here. Thank you for committing to watching me. And please add your comments in the chat box. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be doing a few more lives this week as well. All right. Bye. This is the new way I give hugs these days. Bye now. Take care. Oops.